There is a movement in New Jersey to make the state hipper. That is the topic of a series of reports of our next guest, Michael Diamond, who is a reporter for the Asbury Park Press and writes, of course, that means he also writes for APP.com, and that's where you can see his stuff, especially if you're outside of the area a little bit. Make New Jersey hipper for some reason, and I am buying into a stereotype, and I shouldn't say this, I know, the two words don't seem to go hand in hand. New Jersey and hipper.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We've been looking at this topic of millennials, the new generation that's making inroads into the workplace and the way of life here in New Jersey, and the things that sort of make them different from previous generations, and kind of what they're looking for are more urban areas and walkable communities and don't need to drive everywhere.
Well, wait a second. When you think, when I think of New Jersey, you think of what exit? You know, the old just Joe Piscopo bit. You think about driving to get to where you want to go. You think of malls. You think of the Jersey Shore too, but many of them are second homes and not first homes. You don't think of what you were just describing.
Yeah, and New Jersey's paying a pretty big penalty for that, because as the economy gets better, New Jersey's falling behind. Its job growth is much slower than the rest of the nation, and migration patterns are showing that 20-somethings are moving to the urban areas, New York and Boston and Philadelphia, and leaving New Jersey behind. And the question is, how is New Jersey going to transform itself to keep people here?
So this isn't just an attitude problem or a looks problem. It's a serious economic problem.
It's a serious economic problem. You know, for decades and decades, New Jersey never had to do anything because the big corporations would just set up shop here. We were near New York, near Philadelphia. They would take these huge, sprawling corporate campuses and lock themselves into offices. And we just sat back and took the tax revenue. But the model's changing now, and New Jersey's kind of missing out on it. So
that means that it's much more than just being hipper. You also have to raise the standards, or at least market your colleges and universities better, which in New Jersey would be Rutgers.
It's Rutgers, but there are some other schools. NJIT, Monmouth University is another, Stevens Institute. They're all there at Princeton. They're all there. It's a question of how do you harness that type of power.
Yeah, I didn't mean to ignore all the other universities, but Rutgers is supposed to be the crown jewel, is it not? I mean, in New Jersey, and that's the university that has the most opportunity, at least, to partner with some of these pharmaceutical companies, and that's who you would look to. And you're saying they're failing?
I'm not saying they're failing. I think the state has not done a good job of making that transition.
No, it really is the municipalities themselves that have to change.
Yeah, municipalities that are doing that are doing very well. For example, Asbury Park, very cool. And it has...
Have they been showing some growth?
Yeah, and they have this kind of fledgling technology community with co-working space where you have a building there, you have all the technology ready, and then entrepreneurs just kind of come in and set up shop there and trade ideas and brainstorm things. And they're very creative, and it kind of builds this kind of vibrancy that towns in New Jersey could really take advantage of.
Because I've been hearing for decades now, I think since the 1970s, that Asbury Park is coming back. And I keep hearing they're doing this, and they're going to come back, they're doing this, they're going to come back, and they never come back. But you really believe this time this could be?
It could be, but I think that there's still some issues out there. For example, transportation is an issue. It would be perfect if it didn't take 2 hours by train to get to New York from Asbury Park. That would set them up perfectly. But it does, so the question is, how do you get around that? But yeah, the pieces are falling into place for Asbury.
Wow, I know a lot of people that would be happy about that, including Bruce Springsteen. I can already see the big concert, Welcome Back Asbury Park. My city's not in ruin anymore.
Yeah, he should do that.
Is what it could mean. Thank you so much. I will continue to read your stuff, and especially about millennials. Fascinating topic. Mike Diamond, reporter at the Asbury Park Press. You can read his stuff, as I said, on APP.com. And that wraps up Jersey Matters for this week. I'm Larry Menti. We'll see you again next week.